Welcome to my channel BBC Rare Coins. At first glance, it may seem ordinary. Lightweight, humble in value, often overlooked, but beneath the nickel-plated surface lies a history as unique as the islands themselves. Top 1. In your pocket, in your change jar, maybe forgotten in an old drawer, lies a coin most people ignore. A plain old nickel. But one version of the 1979 US 5-cent coin is anything but ordinary. One of them sold $4.56000. It's a Jefferson nickel, just like the rest. Thomas Jefferson's familiar profile stares stoically to the left, and Monticello rests quietly on the back. At first glance, it seems like nothing special. But the truth is, only a handful of 1979 D nickels were struck to a standard so rare, so flawless, that collectors now prize them beyond gold. So what makes this coin so valuable? The answer lies in a rare combination: condition, strike quality, and luck. Most coins are minted for speed, not beauty. But occasionally, one comes off the press with absolute perfection. No scratches. No wear. Every detail of Jefferson's face sharp and clear, Monticello crisp and clean. The 1979 D nickel that stunned the collecting world was found in what's called full steps condition, meaning the steps of Monticello on the reverse are completely visible, uninterrupted, and sharply defined. That kind of detail almost never survives the minting process. But this coin did. It was graded MS 67 full steps, an elite level of mint state condition. Coins of this grade are so rare, they're often described as museum quality. Out of the hundreds of millions of nickels minted in 1979, only a tiny handful have ever achieved this level. And in a 2020 auction, one such coin sold $4.56. But condition alone isn't enough. Demand fuels value. And the Jefferson Nickel series has built a quiet but passionate collector base over the decades. Finding a rare date with a perfect strike in high mint state is like hitting the lottery. This isn't just about metal. It's about history. The 1979 nickel came during a turning point in American currency. Inflation was climbing. The US Mint was trying to keep up with rising costs and changing technology. The Denver Mint, which produced the most valuable version of this coin, was operating under pressure, yet somehow, through all the rush, one flawless coin slipped through. Today, it serves as a symbol of how even the smallest, most ordinary object can hold extraordinary value. Think about it. In your pocket right now, there could be a 5-cent coin worth thousands. Most won't be. But maybe, just maybe, one will. A perfect survivor. A metal fluke. A story frozen in nickel. So next time you get change from the store, take a second. Look closely. Look at the year. Look for the D mint mark under the date. Turn it over. Count the steps of Monticello. If you see all 5, clearly and without breaks, you might just be holding a piece of American treasure, because in the world of numismatics, the line between pocket change and a small fortune is thinner than you think, and sometimes, it's exactly 5 cents wide. Top 2. A nickel. Just 5 cents. You pass it by without thinking. Toss it in a jar. Drop it in a vending machine. But in 1984, something unexpected happened at the US Mint, something so rare that today, one small 5-cent coin from that year is worth over $53,000. Let's rewind. The year is 1984. Ronald Reagan is president. Michael Jackson's Thriller is still topping charts. The Cold War lingers in the background, and America is riding a wave of economic change. Amidst all this, the US Mint continues its work, producing millions of coins every day, unnoticed and uncelebrated, among them, the Jefferson nickel. Same design as always. Thomas Jefferson's profile on the front. Monticello, his Virginia estate, on the back. The nickel had remained virtually unchanged since 1938. Most were ordinary. Most were forgettable, but not all. 1984 nickel broke the mold. It wasn't minted in gold. It wasn't specially designed. It was a simple 5-cent piece struck in Denver, marked by a small D beneath the year. But what made this coin special wasn't what it was. It was how it survived. This particular nickel was preserved in nearly flawless condition, mint state 68 with full steps. That means the fine detail on Monticello's steps was untouched, perfectly struck, and razor sharp. For collectors, that level of detail is the holy grail. Most nickels never come close. Millions of nickels were produced in 1984. But almost all of them show signs of wear, damage, or weak strikes, especially on the reverse side. The Monticello steps are almost always partially blurred or flattened. A nickel showing complete, uninterrupted steps is almost unheard of. In fact, only a handful have been certified in such condition. This 1984 D specimen, one of the best ever seen, and that's why, when it hit the auction block, it stunned everyone. $53,000. For 5 cents. Not because it was old. Not because it was made of precious metal. But because it was perfect. A time capsule. A flawless example of how unpredictable minting can be, and how even mass-produced objects can become rarities through a twist of fate. But that's not where the story ends. This nickel also came to represent something bigger, the overlooked artistry in American coinage. We forget that every coin starts with a hand-engraved die. That each one carries not just currency, but craftsmanship. In a world where everything is automated and fast, this little coin reminds us of the human side of minting, the balance of metal, pressure, precision, and timing. For decades, collectors chased the perfect Jefferson nickel. The full step standard became a measuring stick for mint quality. But 1984. It was never a year collectors expected to be special. There was no low mintage. No commemorative issue. It was just another year, until one coin proved otherwise. So why does it matter? Because stories like this don't happen every year. Most coins vanish into circulation, scraped and scuffed beyond recognition. But every once in a while, one emerges, untouched, preserved, a quiet survivor of its time. And when that happens, the value skyrockets. Imagine walking into a coin shop, a flea market, or even just sorting through change and coming across a 1984 D nickel. You flip it over. You check the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all perfectly visible. Sharp. Clean. No wear. No flattening. Your heart starts to race. Could it be? Could it really be one of them? That's the thrill of coin collecting. The idea that value is hiding in plain sight. That history lives in your hand. And that even the smallest, most ignored piece of metal can carry a story worth thousands. The 1984 D nickel didn't start out rare. It became rare because it survived, and for one lucky owner, it turned 5 cents into $53,000. So the next time you get change, look twice. Check the date. Check the mint mark. Count the steps, because in a world where most people walk past pennies and nickels without a second thought, you might just be holding a fortune. And it all starts with a coin no bigger than your thumb, from a year long forgotten, that somehow refused to fade. Top 3. A nickel. Just 5 cents. One of the most common coins in America's pocket change. You use it every day without a second thought. But what if I told you that among the millions of 1985 nickels minted by the US Mint, one rare example is worth a staggering $48,000 today? It sounds impossible, but this is the story of the elusive 1985 D nickel, one of the most valuable and sought-after coins in the Jefferson nickel series. The year 1985 was like any other for the US Mint. Jefferson nickels rolled off the presses in enormous quantities, made to serve their simple purpose, 5 cents for a cup of coffee, a bus ride, or a newspaper. Most of these coins show the usual wear and tear of everyday life, little more than everyday currency, but hidden among these countless nickels was a unique treasure, one struck with astonishing perfection. What makes this 1985 nickel so special? It comes down to quality and rarity. This coin was minted in Denver, bearing the D mint mark, but unlike most, it emerged from the presses in mint state 67 or better condition, meaning it was nearly flawless, with every detail crystal clear and sharp, the defining characteristic. The full steps designation on the reverse side. You see, the Monticello building, depicted on the back of the nickel, has 5 steps leading up to its entrance. Over time and use, these steps usually become worn down, smoothed over by countless hands. But this rare 1985 nickel preserves every one of those steps in perfect detail, no breaks, no flattening. Collectors worldwide know that nickels with full steps are exceptionally rare, especially in such high-grade condition. Out of millions struck in 1985, only a handful qualify, and these few coins are priceless to numismatists. When this coin appeared at auction, it caused a sensation. Bidders competed fiercely, and the final price soared to $48,000. For a coin worth 5 cents in 1985, that's an extraordinary leap, a testament to the passion and dedication of collectors and the unpredictable world of coin collecting. But the story is about more than just money. The 1985 nickel reminds us of the art and precision behind coin minting. Each coin starts as a carefully engraved die, which stamps the design onto a metal blank with incredible force. Most coins are made for speed and quantity, not perfection. But every so often, the stars align, and a flawless strike emerges, a small miracle of craftsmanship. This coin also tells a story of survival. Over nearly 4 decades, it escaped pockets, cash registers, and countless transactions without a single scratch or blemish. It's a rare survivor, a small piece of history preserved in metal. For collectors, it's a symbol of hope, that even the most common coin might be hiding extraordinary value, waiting to be discovered. So the next time you reach into your pocket or purse and pull out a handful of change, take a moment. Look for the date. Look for the mint mark. Flip the coin over and study the steps of Monticello. If you find a 1985 nickel with all 5 steps perfectly intact, sharp and clear as the day it was minted, you could be holding a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. A simple nickel. A hidden fortune. A rare glimpse into America's rich numismatic history, because in the world of coins, sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest treasures. Top 4. This is the incredible story of the elusive 1991 D nickel, a coin that has captured the imagination of numismatists around the world. The year 1991 may not stand out in American history for its coinage. The Jefferson nickel design was still the same, Thomas Jefferson facing left on the obverse, and Monticello, his beloved Virginia home, on the reverse. The U.S. Mint produced millions of nickels in Denver and Philadelphia that year, meant for everyday commerce, not for collectors or investors. But every so often, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Among the countless 1991 nickels, a very small number were struck with exceptional detail and quality, earning the coveted full steps designation. This means the 5 steps of Monticello on the coin's reverse are fully visible, sharply defined, and completely uninterrupted, something incredibly rare for nickels of this era. Why does that matter? Because the majority of 1991 nickels in circulation show wear and tear, with many of those steps worn smooth or partially obscured from years of handling. A coin with full steps at high mint state condition is almost like finding a mint condition diamond in a river full of stones. The specific 1991 D nickel that reached the $46,000 mark was graded as MS 67 full steps, an almost flawless specimen with an uncirculated finish and the finest details preserved. Such coins are so scarce that they have become legends among collectors, objects of intense desire and high bids. This coin's incredible value isn't due to rarity alone. It's a perfect storm of factors, the year's large mintage combined with the rarity of the full steps detail in pristine condition, and the deep collector interest in completing Jefferson nickel sets with the best possible specimens. But there's more to this nickel than just numbers and market prices. It's a reminder of the artistry involved in minting. Every coin starts as a blank metal disc, then pressed with dies that carry the design's detail. Most coins are mass-produced, intended for everyday use, and small flaws or wear are inevitable. But every so often, the process produces a coin so perfect, it seems untouched by time. The 1991 D nickel is also a survivor, enduring decades in pristine condition, escaping the wear and tear that claimed countless others. It's a tiny, metallic time capsule, capturing a moment frozen in history. Collectors cherish it not only for its value but for its story, a story about rarity, precision, and the unexpected fortunes hiding in plain sight. So next time you're handed a nickel in change, take a closer look. Check the year. Look for that small D mint mark beneath the date. Turn it over and count the steps of Monticello. If you see all five, perfectly clear and sharp, you could be holding a small fortune, because in the world of coins, sometimes the most unassuming pieces carry the greatest treasures. That 1991 nickel, a simple 5-cent coin, reminds us that sometimes, the smallest things have the biggest stories, and for one lucky collector, that story was worth $46,000. Top 5. This is the story of the elusive 1994 D nickel, one of the most sought-after coins in modern American numismatics. In 1994, the Jefferson nickel was well established. Thomas Jefferson's portrait graced the obverse, while the reverse featured Monticello, his iconic Virginia home. The U.S. Mint struck millions of these nickels in both Philadelphia and Denver. Most were destined for everyday transactions, for vending machines, cash registers, and countless pockets across the country. But among these millions, a few extraordinary nickels stood apart. The key to the 1994 nickel's value lies in the details. Specifically, the full steps designation on the reverse side, an indication that all 5 steps of Monticello are fully visible and sharply defined. For most nickels, these steps fade with use, abrasion, or weak strikes at the mint. But the 1994 D nickel with full steps has survived in exceptional condition, with every step crisp and clear. This alone makes it rare. But rarity combined with condition is what drives its value into the tens of thousands. The most valuable specimens have been graded mint state 66 or higher, meaning they're virtually flawless. These coins look as if they just left the mint, untouched by the years that have worn down billions of their counterparts. Why is this so important? Because in the world of coin collecting, perfection is prized. The Jefferson Nickel series has a passionate following, with collectors hunting for the best possible examples to complete their sets. And when a coin boasts both rarity and stunning condition, it can fetch extraordinary prices. The 1994 D nickel with full steps is a perfect example. Despite a large overall mintage, only a handful have ever been certified in such high grades with complete steps, making them near mythical among collectors. When one of these nickels appeared in a recent auction, it immediately captured attention. Bidders from across the country and around the world competed fiercely, and the final hammer price was an astonishing $42,000. But the story behind this coin goes beyond just numbers. It's about the unexpected beauty in everyday objects. Every coin begins as a metal blank, stamped with precision dies. Most coins carry subtle imperfections or wear from circulation. But every so often, the minting process produces a coin so perfect that it seems almost unreal, a tiny work of art in metal. The 1994 D nickel is more than just a rare find. It's a reminder that value isn't just about precious metals or old age. Sometimes, it's about condition, craftsmanship, and survival. For nearly 3 decades, this coin survived, untouched, unblemished, and quietly waiting for someone to recognize its true worth. So next time you handle a nickel, look closely. Check the year. Look for the mint mark. Flip it over and count the steps on Monticello. If all 5 steps are perfectly visible and sharply defined, you might just be holding a piece of American history and a potential fortune, because in the world of coins, even the smallest denomination can carry the greatest surprises. The 1994 D nickel, a simple 5-cent coin, turned out to be worth an incredible $42,000. And that's a story worth remembering.